people mountain. Where we're going, we don't need roads.
There's a really great moment in the pilot episode, and I don't want to ruin it by giving it context, but just to say that a father says to his child, I'm the person who took you to see every R-rated movie when you were 10 years old. And that really struck me because I have that relationship with my parents. Like, they used to take me to see movies that I should not be seeing, which is kind of why I have the job I have now. I'm sort of curious, what was your relationship with R-rated movies growing up? Like, particularly horror titles. Like, were you allowed to watch them?
That's so funny. Yeah, my mom actually, she let me watch really whatever, like, horror film or whatever I wanted to watch. Because since I was like 7 years old, I loved horror, and I would want to go watch like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at like 10 years old, and she'd be like, "If you want to see it, let's go see it." Like, if that's what you want to see. So I think it's good to have your parents be, you know, protective over you, but also let you indulge in those things, and you know, if you have passions.
Yeah.
10-year-old you and 10-year-old me would have been.
Yeah.
They would have been buds.
I think allowed to or not, I still did. I was such a fiend for the horror genre. I loved being scared, and like, I know anyone can relate to that being a kid. Like, you wanna be scared, especially like when you feel safe, like just watching it on a screen. So like, yeah, I think that's a very relatable thing for us all.
Yeah,
my mom
100%.
was definitely very protective, but I was the girl that would go over to sleepovers and be like, can we put on The Conjuring or The Poltergeist or whatever, and I'd be the one putting on the horror movies.
That's the cool thing, is we're all horror fans, and we have been for so long, so being on a show like this is like literally a dream come true.
And also, too, like, I feel like the shows that I had growing up, like, this feels like a real, like, in theaters, it would be an R-rated film. Yes. But, like, I didn't have shit like this. Sorry, I didn't have stuff like this whenever I was younger. Like, I would, like, this is amazing. This is a thing.
At first, my parents, you know, started me off with an R-rated movie called The King's Speech. I don't know if you've seen that. I don't think it really needs to be R-rated. It wasn't very scary. But then once I got that ticket into the R-rated genre, I was well on my way to all the Insidious movies.
Yep.
And yes, so.
You know, most people, like, their gateway into the R-rated world, it's like Freddy Krueger and Jason. I love that yours is like an Oscar-winning Best Picture Colin Firth period drama. That's your, like, that's what got you to Insidious. I love that was your gateway in. Yeah. Whenever I see any horror story, I feel like I know myself well enough to know I would be one of the first people to die. Like, the first act of this pilot, like, I'd be done. I'd be one of the guys that got, like, ran over. How long do you think the person sitting next to you would survive in a horror situation?
I want to hear Tyler's answer first.
Oh, God.
You'd be done.
I probably would be done. I think I'm just a little
done.
too, like, I don't know.
He'd overthink everything.
20 minutes.
I'd probably be like talking because I like wouldn't think it's serious, and then like they'd just come.
Yeah, he'd be done right away.
Not long. Not long. I think when it really comes to like it coming into real life, everyone says like, oh, I'd be fine. I hope there's like an apocalypse that happens. That'd be fun. And then it really happens, and you're curled up in a ball crying, wishing it wasn't happening.
I admittedly would probably die pretty quickly.
Yeah. Insanely fast.
Hey.
Bella, honestly, I think you probably survived longer than me. And that's because you have better, like, I think you have better intuition when it comes to, like, bad situations. Like, you can tell when, like, it's time to get out.
Yeah.
And maybe I stick around a little bit longer sometimes.
Tyler would, okay, I'd give him, like, 5 days maximum, but he would make it 5 days. He'd do well the first 3, and then it would be, like,
give myself
all
some
downhill
false
from
hope
there.
and then just, like, cut it there.
Yeah.
People mountain. Where we're going, we don't need roads.